want to talk about on paper two guys that match up well. Carlos Condit and Dan Hardy. That's about as good as you get.
Fighting style, these two men were separated at birth.
Fighting style, heart, determination, gameness. Both men, incredible desire for victory. Both men can push through pain. Both men have had a lot of experience. Of course, Dan Hardy fought for the title. Carlos Condit was the WEC champion. Carlos, if I had to give him an advantage, I would give him a significant advantage in his submissions. He submitted top guys like Brock Larson, some beast, Carlos Prater, some really difficult challenges off of his back. He's got a solid chin. He's taken big bombs from guys like Jake Ellenberger. He's had a lot of opportunities in the octagon to test his endurance, to test his fortitude, and he's passed with flying colors. He's had victories, he's had defeats, he's been in there with guys like Martin Kampman. A lot of experience, and a lot of experience in training with guys like John Jones, Rashad Evans, all those guys down at Jackson's camp in New Mexico.
Great hunger for victory, worked through some tough moments against Rory McDonald, coming out with a fight of the night and the win with 7 seconds left in Vancouver. He wants to jump on Dan Hardy immediately. Condit first fought at age 18 in Juarez, Mexico. He's wrestled since he was 9 years old. First trained at Jackson's gym in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he was born and raised, at age 15. And the last welterweight champion in WEC history with 3 title defenses. The natural-born killer, Carlos Condit. Talk about those dream matchups, Joe. This is one of them.
Another thing about Condit is, even though he's had a tremendous amount of experience, he's still relatively young. He's only 26 years old and gets better every time you see him.
Tonight, he faces off against the first Brit to fight for a UFC title, Dan the Outlaw Hardy. As brash and as full of personality as anyone really in the UFC today. 23 wins overall. Roared through all the competition early. Fought George St. Pierre for the title. And now for the 4th time in the UK, Dan Hardy fights in the UFC.
Dan Hardy is an excellent striker. He's got very good counter punches and kicks, especially his left hook knockout power. He's got knockout power really in every technique he throws, an ever-improving ground game, and after the GSP fight, he has spent a tremendous amount of time working on improving his wrestling, which obviously was his weakness in that fight against one of the very best wrestlers in the sport, in the champion, George St. Pierre. Got a lot of experience from that fight, learned a lot about himself, and really walked out of that fight 5 rounds against one of the very best fighters in the world with very little damage. He was dominated in that fight, but really didn't get hurt, got through it, got a learning experience from it, and he's going to be a better fighter tonight because of it.
7 months since the fight against GSP, he enters to a band that he idolized as a kid, featured as the backup singer. Dan Hardy very comfortable at home. Dan Hardy loves the matchup tonight against Condit, because as you said, the way they fight, they are truly mirror images of each other.
Yeah, as I said, I would give an advantage in the striking to Hardy, on paper at least, and an advantage in the ground, on paper at least, to natural-born killer Carlos Condit. One of the things that Dan Hardy does very well, Mike, is get under opponent's skin. He's one of the best trash talkers in the game, and he makes a fight very emotional. And we all know what happens when guys get emotional. Sometimes they lose their composure.
Always
He's always
entertaining.
smiling and
Oh,
happy.
yeah.
I mean, this isn't an act, man. This dude loves to fight. And he enjoys stirring the pot and getting these guys to lose it in there.
Very well-versed and smart young man from Nottingham here in the UK. Went to Nottingham Trent University, trained in China with the monks. I mean, he's done it all, but what he really wants is to win tonight at home and get right back in title contention. Our tale of the tape for this welterweight fight. The Brit, 28, the American, 26. Condit, 2 inches taller. He will have a 2-inch reach advantage. With the official introductions, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 25 wins, 5 losses, standing 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds, 12.1 stone. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, ladies and gentlemen, he is the former WEC welterweight champion, the natural born killer, Carlos Condit. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 23 wins, 7 losses, 1 no contest, standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 171 pounds, 12.2 stone, fighting out of Nottingham, England, Dan the Outlaw Hardy. And when the action
Hearing your
begins,
name said more?
Absolutely not. How good is that?
All right, guys, been through the rules in the locker room. You both understand the rules, correct? I want a nice, clean, safe fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves if you like to. Go back to your corners. Good luck.
Let's do this thing. Dan Hardy embracing this moment. Carlos Condit looking to silence the crowd.
You ready, sir? Are you ready? Let's go fight.
Red trunks, Dan Hardy. Black trunks, Carlos Condit.
Right away, Carlos Condit throwing those leg kicks. Carlos has said that he believes that Dan Hardy thinks that his strength is standing up, but he believes he's better than Dan Hardy standing up.
Hardy answers with a leg kick of his own.
And Carlos Condit is the type of guy that wants to beat you at your own game just to prove a point.
Oh, Hardy delivered that one to the thigh.
That was a powerful leg kick right there. Nice switch kick.
Condit has worked that inside leg kick.
Nice left hook by Dan Hardy.
Hardy loves the hook. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. 23 career wins for Hardy, 25 for Condit. Striking battle early, 1.5 minutes in. Hardy again looks to connect. Big smile on his face after the counter by Condit. Caught him again. That one set up by the jab. Condit looking to answer. Hardy's got that right hand loaded up. Kick by Carlos Condit. The left hook misses for Hardy. And a nice counter for the natural born killer. Looking for the Superman punch. Hardy able to block that kick. Condit mixing things up nicely here. Hardy trying to get and find his range. Condit answers. Spun around and nearly connected. Hardy with the second left. Trying to find a home for that jab. They both just ripped through those kicks.
One of the things I'm interested in this fight is what kind of a game plan has Greg Jackson put together for this fight? Because, you know, Condit lands. You know, he's faced Dan Hardy on the other side before with GSP. So I'm very curious to see what they have in mind if this doesn't go their way. So far, though, Carlos Condit is more than hanging in there with him standing up.
Left hook by Hardy. And that certainly makes this fight much more interesting if Condit can get the better of the stand-up game, or at least, like you said, Joe, stay even in a stand-up war.
Well, right now, Hardy's starting to find his range, and one of the things that Hardy is excellent at is taking advantage of very small openings.
Just over a minute now.
Again with that left hook.
And he timed it off the kick of Condit. Combination
by Condit.
Hardy likes to counter with that left. And there it is. And again.
I like how...
Whoa! Absolutely right.
He's out.
And it is all over. Carlos Condit knocks out Dan Hardy.
And we have not seen Carlos Condit throw that kind of power in the UFC before. That was amazing.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Dan Hardy wants to get up, but they're trying to keep him down. Let's take a look at it again, Mike. It came out of nowhere. Left hook first, right on the chin. Let's see it again. Oh! They were both throwing. Carlos Condit landed first. Perfectly placed left hook. Right hand left hook behind it. Man. Let's see that again. Oh! His was shorter and more accurate. And that was all she wrote. I mean, Carlos has always had good stand-up, but he really hasn't been knocking guys out with one shot before. And Dan Hardy has shown a great chin.
Talks so much of the left hook of Dan Hardy, and it's Condit who uses it in the fight.
Outstanding.
Huge win tonight for Carlos Condit. Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Murgliata has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 27 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by